I'm Igor Kayfetz, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, a podcast for those who want to build a large profitable email list and make six figures from anywhere in the world. If you would like to get rich by building a large email list while helping people, this podcast is for you. I also invite you to attend a free web class I'm conducting this week to find out how I built a list of 4,331,656 email subscribers at a profit. Secure your free seat at igor.cx. Attend this free workshop to discover an easy way to get 50 to 500 new email leads per day on complete autopilot without losing tons of money. Just go to igor.cx to attend this free web class. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to another episode of the List Building Lifestyle with your host, Igor Kayfetz. List Building Lifestyle Show is all about traffic and list building. Over the years, we've hosted guests from all walks of marketing, including best-selling authors, conversion experts, email marketing authorities, list building gurus, copywriting legends, and even financial literacy activists like Robert Kiyosaki. Recently, I realized I haven't hosted many traffic experts on the show. I decided to seal this leak, so to speak, by inviting some of the most sought-after traffic experts to make a guest appearance and share what works for them right now. This week, my focus has been all about solo ads, and the one name that kept popping up was Michael Bashi. Michael is one of the most knowledgeable people in the world when it comes to pay-per-click traffic and paid online media in general. They say those who teach aren't good enough to do it themselves, and I find it to be true most of the time because most traffic experts almost never walk the talk. Michael actually does. Michael's lead generation is entirely PPC based, but we're not going to talk about Google AdWords or Facebook ads. Today, I want to pick his brain about solo ads because I thought it'd be fun to talk about solo ads with someone, well, other than me. So Michael is one of those unicorns who have a knack to driving traffic profitably pretty much with any traffic source he chooses to master. And now he's about to spill the beans on how he's doing it with solo ads. So Michael, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for a wonderful intro.
My pleasure. That's actually what I excel at, believe it or not. I excel at crafting exquisite intros for my guests. So before we launch into some of the advanced solid conversion tactics that you're about to share with us, can you give us the short version of how you got into solids, how you got involved with this traffic source?
Actually, I'm very happy that you said short version because it's actually a long story of how I got into solo ads. And actually, I was kind of forced into it. It wasn't something I really wanted to do. So what happened was I started my online journey, as most of my audience knows, back in 1999. Wasn't successful till about late 2005, early 2006. That's when I started kind of making money and then into a full-time income and then on. And then not until about 2010, I launched my first program on ClickBank, which was titled thetrafficmaverick.com, which was all about traffic. And it was like a 15-module course teaching different methods of traffic generation and so on. That course is no longer out there. It kind of transformed into what I sell today, which is, another PPC training and so on. But anyways, because this program was on ClickBank, and because I was driving traffic to that program using paid ads, it was during the time in 2010 where some of the biggest advertising networks decided that all affiliate marketers or anybody that teaches affiliate marketing is a scammer, ban them. So I was kind of, and the funny thing is I wasn't promoting affiliate marketing, and I'm sure you know about that when they were like banning so many different people. I wasn't even selling affiliate marketing, but because the fact that this program, I was hosting it on ClickBank, I guess ClickBank, and it just doesn't work well with, paid PPC ads, especially on places like, Google and Facebook. So I was basically not able to advertise on Google, Facebook, Twitter, and I've never really shared that story to such a large audience. Only people on my list know about this. So this is kind of my first time sharing it publicly. So I was banned suspended, not banned. I still had access to everything else. I just couldn't pay them to send me traffic off of Google, Facebook, and Twitter. I could do all the free stuff. I just can't do paid. So I'm like, okay, this sucks. So then I'm like, okay, I need to generate leads. I need, traffic. So this is kind of how I got into solo ads. However, it was a very, very bumpy road. And it wasn't profitable for the longest time. I was generating, as most people who are starting with the solo ads or buying solo ads, most of the leads were dead leads. It's a totally different animal than pay-per-click advertising. So I kind of had to figure out how to make solo ads work. And I was kind of forced to, because it's the only traffic source that I could work with at a scale. And this was it for since then. And since I got good at it, I'm like, okay, this is an awesome, traffic source. I'm never going to stop running that. But now that I got that going, let me shift my focus back on getting back on the top networks, like, Google, Facebook, whatever. And I did what I had to do, contacted who I had to contact, explained the story. And thank goodness I've been back on those networks for a long while now. And that's why with PPC, I'm very I know the rules inside out more than I'm supposed to, just to make sure I'm not accidentally violating something they do not like. So that's kind of the short version of it.
Interesting. I can totally relate to that because as somebody who got their start in MLM and then in affiliate marketing, I encountered pretty much the same problem. I think the first time I tried to get traffic off of AdWords, I think I got banned like within 3 hours. I remember trying to start over and using the same domain, and they kind of like automatically suspended my account again. But eventually, I contacted some people who were able to call them up and unblock us as well. But yeah. 100%. Like they didn't like affiliate marketers at the time. I still don't think they like them. I still don't think you're allowed to just, yeah.
But they're a little bit more lenient and easier when you advertise on like YouTube. It's a totally different like policy. It's just that they don't like it on search. But there are ways around it. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, you don't want to run a business that is where every single day you wake up and you don't know what's going to happen. Like you don't want to do it the sleazy way. You want to run a professional business. You're not doing anything wrong. Every single day you're generating leads and you're generating sales, and just enjoy the entire process instead of worrying about, oh, what's going to go wrong? What's going to happen? What am I going to do? Am I going to get banned? It's a stressful way to run a business, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And, at one point I've had a coaching practice where I was teaching people how to build lists and eventually sell solo ads. And I remember spending about $2,000 per day on Facebook at one point and making about 8 back. And, I woke up one day, got shut down, tried to get back up again, got shut down. And so it just kept on repeating itself. And I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm walking away. I'm walking away from this stuff. I want to build a business where I'm in control. I want to build a business where I'm not, like you said, where I'm not going to wake up to a banned account where my entire business pretty much tanks because of it. So for that reason, running solo ads is definitely a much easier going way, especially for beginners. Now, I want to shift our focus towards getting solo ads to work. In other words, let's just say our average listener is brand new. They are either an affiliate marketer or they are like content creator in the affiliate marketing space, perhaps, or something like that. How would they go about, what would be the first thing they need to do to set themselves up for success with solo ads?
Well, if I was to literally if I was to simplify things, the pattern I've seen, and which is a lot of that pattern is when I started out earlier, I was doing it too because I was still, learning this traffic medium. So the top common things I see happening, one of them, actually the number one that I see mostly happening, is that people treat traffic in general. And this is kind of ties perfectly into the solo ads, but in general, newbies and sometimes even experts, but it's both sides, and it's very easy to think of it that way. But if you try to shift your focus and you get ahead a lot faster. So most people look at online traffic as just numbers. They look at them as, okay, it's just how many people, came in, that didn't convert, this didn't happen. So they focus too much on numbers instead of the human interaction. So they need to shift their focus into thinking more, okay, those numbers, I mean, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you have to look at your numbers and make sure your numbers are up to par with your goals and what you want to do. That's a given. But at the same time, we have to look at the numbers as actual human beings, the real people that are coming and seeing what we are presenting to them. And I see a lot of people, they don't look at traffic in general in that sense. So with that said, another thing I see people do, especially with solo ads, is that they go in, they're like, okay, solo ads, I mean, is the cheapest form of traffic. Everybody knows that. It's very good. You can scale it. It's a good traffic source if you know what you are doing. So the people that, let's say, advertise on pay-per-click, they're like, oh my God, I'm paying $2-3 a click to get 10 clicks. It's going to cost me $50. And then they go to solo ads and they say, okay, if I spend $50, I can get 100 clicks. So they're just thinking about the volume. So they're like, okay, 100 visitors, if I can convert that much, if I can do that much, I should get a sale. So because they're looking at it as just numbers, so when they go and they buy, let's say, 100 clicks, for, let's say, whatever amount. And then what they end up doing is they drive that traffic directly to an offer. So this is cold visitors, and they're driving it directly to a sales page where they're asking somebody to make a purchase on the spot. So the biggest mistake I see is that people are not using solo ads to generate leads. And they're using solo ads to try to get sales because it's cheaper to get that traffic. They try to handle it. So they just look at numbers, and then they see that they're not generating results. And then they say, solo ads doesn't work. But if they focus on generating leads, they would see that they're getting much better results. That's issue number one. I hope I am making sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. You are. Yeah.
So let me quickly touch on issue number two, which is, these are the top two I see happening. Issue number two is that with solo ads, especially if you're doing it at a scale and you're driving hundreds, even thousands of leads into your funnels. And for the newbies out there that don't know what a funnel is, it's basically a step-by-step selling sequence that helps take your prospect's cold visitor from a cold visitor to an interested visitor, to a lead, to a potential prospect, to a customer. It's kind of how you lay out your strategy over a period of time, or however that people do it. So the second issue that I see is when you're doing solo ads at a scale and you're driving so many leads in, you need to have some, so I see it that people drive that traffic, and those for the ones that are, let's say, generating leads, they drive traffic, and then right away they send that traffic to an offer, and they're cold and still doesn't convert that well. What I like to do in between is engage with them and ask them to do something. Because the solo ad audience, most people that are opting into your list from a solo ad are basically people that they could be opting into 10 different things a day. And almost everything they opt into is basically an opt-in form and then a sales video, an opt-in form or a sales page, or an opt-in form and a webinar. So the market is used to that. So I made it a habit in all my businesses, well, majority, not all, some depending on the traffic source, but mainly across the board. What I try to do is I include this thing in between them opting in before they see the main feature presentation. And I kind of get them engaged. So when somebody opts-ins, I'm sure if you opted into one of my lists, Igor, you see that after somebody opts-ins, I send them to a thank you page with a video. And I engage with them and I tell them what I want them to do next. So I make them go check their email. I tell them exactly the from name. I tell them what the subject line is. And I tell them what link to expect. So I basically make my email that they're going to receive after opting in, I make it known. I make it present in their eyes. So when they check their email and when they get 50 new emails, they can spot out which one is my email because I already told them about it. I told them what it's going to look like. So it's going to be embedded in their head. for them to know what they're looking for. Even though they are opting in as a single opt-in, I'm not doing double opt-in, so they're already on my list anyways. But I asked them to do that step, and I found that by doing that, most people, if you know, with double opt-ins, they're working with about a 50% open rate. So 50% of the people who opt in are people that are going to actually double opt in. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Less.
So, sometimes less. So, but on a single opt-in, you're getting a poorer list where your open rates are really maybe 10 to 12, 13%. However, by adding that little thing in the middle, instead before taking them to the main feature, which I do via email, by adding that, I have noticed that my open rates on the single opt-in are 40%, sometimes higher, and they maintain that open rate even on the fourth and fifth email, follow-up emails, until I get down to the sixth, seventh, eighth, or maybe sometimes more. Then it goes down to like 18, 20, 22, 23. Sometimes, depending on the subject line, it spikes up back to 30%. But overall, I have noticed a very much higher open rates when I do it that way. And at the end of the day, it's not about how big your list is. It's about how many people are going to open up your email when you send that email. So I've noticed that mistake to me, it has become a mistake that not a lot of people do. But by applying and implementing that little thing I just mentioned, helps increase the engagement and the open rates of your email, which, of course, as you know, it always results in higher conversions, better ROIs.
Yo, it's Igor. If you're loving the content, hop on over to listbuildinglifestyleshow.com for more free training and a free transcript of this episode. Oh, and I'd really appreciate if you logged into iTunes and rated the show. It really helps. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. And especially today when email delivery got stricter and it's hard to deliver, a lot of people complaining about lower email open rates, even though email is to this day by far the most profitable media anyone can use in their marketing. I mean, to this day, I attribute more dollars to emails than to anything else. And I see the same pattern everywhere. For example, ClickFunnels, I think Dave Woodward from ClickFunnels was having an interview with Mike Dillard on the Self-Made Man podcast, and Mike Dillard was like, okay, so ClickFunnels made 30 million last year. I see you guys are on social media. I see this and this. It's like, so where's the majority of your money is coming from? They're like, email. It's like, exactly. Most of the money is coming from email, but we do a lot of social media as well. So absolutely. And if we can use this technique to increase our email open rates, that's something definitely should consider.
Of course.
Now, so that's one part of it, right? So one part of it is to recoup as much money as possible on the back end once you start following up with those email subscribers. And we do that by instructing them and giving them more information about what to expect as soon as they opted in, which is great.
Yes.
How about then, what do we do to... And this is actually, before I ask the question, I want to point out what you mentioned about time. The passage of time is really important in the conversion process. A lot of people, they want to break even immediately. They want to make money immediately. Like anytime you see any sort of traffic guru advertising, they say, oh, look, we put in $1 and we're getting $6 back. We're awesome, right?
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is that the passage of time is really important, and you have to be able to track your dollars like 30, 60, 90 days from the moment they opt in, which is one of the ways to run a proper business. You don't make a sale, you don't get a customer to make a sale, you get a sale to make a customer, and then of course you enjoy longer term profits. Now, what about the funnel? What have you found to be the most effective sales funnel structure for solo ads traffic?
The most effective one I've seen for solo ads is that being relevant. It's not necessarily about how short or how long your funnel is. And when I know there are solo ads, the traffic medium in different categories. It's in the health and fitness, personal development, finance, and our world, which is online marketing, affiliate marketing, MLM, internet marketing, whatever. So I'm speaking directly to that audience. So that audience is constantly bombarded with a million different opportunities, programs, everybody claiming they're going to make you rich, and so on. So assuming the market is already familiar with that. So depending on what you're selling, and how much education is required to gain a customer, that will determine how long of a funnel you should have. So long or short, I haven't noticed that much difference. It depends on your offer and what you are selling. However, what I noticed is that the messaging is very, very important in terms of not how to say or not how to present your offer better. That's always good. Obviously, you need to do that really, really well. But what I mean by messaging is that how relevant can you be? And when I say relevant, I'm not also talking about how relevant is your offer. I'm saying is how relevant are you? So basically, they are used to the run of the so solo ad audience are used to the run of the mill, same people pitching the same process, the same offers, the same way. Everybody's telling you they're going to make you rich. However, why should they listen to you and not the other 50 that are doing the same thing? So how can you stand out and how can you make yourself relevant by basically the way you show your sincerity to them by how you're going to help them? I noticed that, and even for affiliate marketers, actually, it's a lot simpler for affiliate marketers because all they got to do is choose the product or service that they want to push as an affiliate that is most relevant to them, that to them, when they go through that, vendor's selling process, they see the relevancy in that person more than the other people. And then you could just push that person's offer. So it's like, if you notice some of my videos, especially we were talking today before this podcast, you told me you watched the video with me wearing a red shirt, right? So on that video, if you watched it to the end, you would notice that on that video, I kind of basically brought up what every marketer is doing on the internet now. And I kind of told them, this is not what you're going to expect from me. And actually that video, I just published it yesterday. I put up an ad campaign today. It's in review. I'm still waiting for it to be approved. So we'll see how that goes. But my messaging in that video ad was, listen, I'm going to show you how to become a successful solo ad vendor, which is the offer, which, we talked about. And anyway, so when you opt in and when you get my training, here is what I want you to understand. I am not asking you to opt in through a 2-hour webinar. I'm not going to pitch you something when I'm really trying to train you and I'm going to have a training that's a sales pitch in disguise. No, I'm going to actually teach you and show you. So I kind of showed my relevancy on that video. So they're like, okay, this is not another 2-hour webinar. This is not another sales pitch. He actually wants to teach me. And of course, you got to be targeting the right people. I really want to learn how to do this. So it's he has a 20-minute, video presentation. Let me just go sign up and go watch it. And on that video, I also indoctrinated the thing I was talking about earlier, which is basically when I told you when somebody opts in, I take them to that thank you page to see what they expect in the email. So I kind of, on that video, I also show them the opt-in page that when they click off of Facebook, what they're going to see. So the page that is going to show up. So I show them that in the video, and I show it to them where they're comfortable, which is on the Facebook platform, because once they click over, they're no longer on Facebook. So I kind of show my honesty, my authenticity, and my relevancy up front before I even ask them to do anything. And I've noticed across the board, not just with solo ads, but especially with solo ads, because that audience is so bombarded. I've noticed that the more relevant you can be by showing how sincere you are, the better results you will get.
So what you're basically saying is try to predict the objection and then tackle the objection before it shows up.
Yes, that's one of the ways. Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is a really good tactic. I actually found out when I was optimizing my webinar to the same practice to be taking place. Like, it's really important to foresee the concerns, the fears, the anxieties, the objections that may come up and address them head on, but do it before the customer actually has to ask those questions. Okay, cool.
Now, is it okay if I just add just one little thing really, really
Sure.
fast? I don't want people to think I'm saying that webinars are bad or webinars do not work. What I'm saying is, look at what everybody else who's inviting you to register to a webinar, look at what they are doing. And when you register for those people's webinars, what is the thing that bothers you? The fact that maybe it could be the fact that it's a pre-recorded webinar, but they're trying so hard to make it sound live. So what you could do to be, for example, relevant is say, listen, I am inviting you to a webinar. I'm not going to pretend that it's live. I recorded this a couple of weeks ago. We got great results. It taught a lot of people, and I'm just rerunning it again because I know you're going to benefit from that webinar. So kind of like show that side, that relevancy. So people say, okay, this guy is like being honest about it. So you kind of make them put their guards down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so in other words, treat other people the way you'd like to be treated. Don't insult their intelligence and think they don't recognize that it's automated webinar. Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the most common questions I get, and it's probably going to be the last question we're going to be covering this episode. Maybe we'll do like a follow-up episode because it seems like we need to give you a stage for a much bigger episode. One of the most common questions is, Igor, can you just tell me which traffic sources I should run? Like, what's that traffic source where all the good buyers are hiding? Like, of course, my answer is not Facebook, but as somebody who's running a ton of solo ads and you've been doing it for years, what are some of your criteria? And perhaps if you could give us like the 60-second version, what is some of your criteria to identify the sources you choose to scale with?
Okay. Well, definitely. I am not, if you know me, I'm not a big fan of, free traffic sources because they're not scalable and they don't work. So my main thing I always go to, the first traffic source is pay-per-click advertising. Now, let me be clear about something though. It's not where all the buyers are. The buyers and your customers and how much sales you make is proportionately congruent to how targeted your offer is to the right audience. And once you target the right people, how much value are you giving them upfront before you ask them to do business with you? Those are the things that will determine and how patient you are. Because I see a lot of people, they spend like, let's say $100. Let's just make the math easy. They spend $100, they get, 100 visitors, they get 50 leads, and they get one sale. Okay, it sounds good, right? Now, speaking statistically, these are amazing numbers. But to a new person, they look at those numbers and they're like, this stuff doesn't work. I lost $100 and I only made $40 back. But what they don't realize is that no, you didn't lose. You invested now $60 instead of $100. You got 50 leads. And if you got the right funnel and the right process and the right follow-ups in place, you're going to close more of those people, if not with this product, with something else down the road. So that's determined by how much customers and how much buyers you're going to get. And now let's go back to the traffic thing. So traffic is basically, I personally start always with, and that's with me and with clients that I work with, private ones. We always start with pay-per-click advertising. And the reason for that is because pay-per-click advertising is quick, predictable, scalable, and you could literally see what's going on and the patterns with putting a couple $100 in. So you could see exactly what's going on and you could start tweaking little things here and there because I have a minimum averages that I have to reach before I stop tweaking a campaign and I just let it run. And then once you get it working in a pay-per-click format and you got the right messaging, the right ad, and you got the traffic coming in and whatnot, you could easily scale that just by raising your budget. And the other thing is, for some clients that I work with that are local, that like SEO, which is search engine optimization, meaning they want the free traffic, they want to get ranked. I see many SEO companies charging people so much money, and they're like, oh, we're going to get you ranked on the first page. Okay, awesome. If you're going to get me ranked for a keyword that's producing 0 sales for me, what benefit is that going to do for me? So it's not just about getting ranked. When you do pay-per-click advertising and you see before your eyes in real time which keywords are actually getting you results, Then if you want to do SEO, you could go to that agency and say, listen, I want you to search engine optimize my site to pop up on the first page of Bing, Google, Yahoo, whatever, for those keywords, because you know those are the keywords that are getting you results. So that's one of the reasons why I do pay-per-click first. And when you do pay-per-click also, you're getting traffic really, really fast of interested people, which means you are getting the results that you need. So then I take those results and then I upload those results on Facebook to retarget the people who didn't convert or didn't opt in. So now I got that going to kind of bring the same people back and similar audiences to that back. And then once I figure all of that out and see what's working, the right message, the right emails, I see things are going, now I can go to solo ads and I can hit it hard to get that extra scale, that extra something. And you don't even have to do solo ads last. You could do it the opposite way. You could do solo ads first. Let's say you don't want to do, pay-per-click. You just want to do, like, for example, social media, and you want to do solo ads. So you could literally run solo ads first, see how your funnel itself is working. So you could do the reverse, which is solo ads. It's real people coming to your site, see how your funnel is operating. If it's converting well, now you know that your funnel is working. Keep running solo ads because it's getting you results. And now you could take those results you got from the solo ads. And for example, you could go to Facebook and retarget similar audiences to those people that just opted in and attract more people on social media. And you could do the same thing with Google, Bing, or whatnot. So that's kind of how I play it out. I hope that answered your question clearly.
Man, this I only have more questions now, but okay, so this is where we have to wrap up. And guys, as you can see, Michael has a lot to offer when it comes to traffic. I think he's one of the deeper thinkers when it comes to PPC traffic, when it comes to just analyzing media, analyzing everything you're getting, like as far as web hits. And you definitely want to look into his stuff when it comes to becoming a better marketer or becoming a better traffic generator. Right, because again, unlike most people out there, what Mike has going on for him is that he truly walks the talk. Like everything is backed up by campaigns, by numbers, and it's truly a person you should be following if you want to scale your paid lead generation. So, Mike, where can we go to find out more about you and your work?
Well, I have several sites. My main website is my blog at mikebashy.com. People can go there to learn more about me, check me out, the different products and services. If your audience is interested in more learning about pay-per-click advertising, they can go to ownppc.com, ownppc.com. Or if they're interested in more, solo ads and want to learn about solo ads or how to sell solo ads or whatnot, they can go to the other website, which is yourwebtrafficagency.com. And I do have another one, but I don't know if it's, relevant to this, so there's no need to mention it. Not a big deal.
All right, sounds good. So guys, if you want to learn more about how to run better PPC traffic, you want to head over to ownppc.com. And if you want to learn how to sell solo ads, which is another thing that Michael's actually teaching, not just not just how to buy them, but how to sell them, then you want to head out to yourwebtrafficagency.com. Or if any of these links are hard to remember, just get on Google and type in Michael Bashy, and you'll probably find at least a couple of links.
You'll find everything there.
yeah, to check out. So, Mike, thank you so much for dropping some knowledge bombs today. I feel 30 minutes is just not enough for you. I will need to do a follow-up episode, but in the meanwhile,
sure.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing openly. Thank you for bringing us into some of the things you never shared before. Really appreciate that. And guys, thanks for checking out this episode. This is Igor and Michael. And until next time we chat,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to the List Building Lifestyle. Get access to previous episodes, the transcript of today's show, and exclusive content at our website at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. Also, don't forget to claim your free seat at the traffic workshop I'm conducting this week, where I'm showing how I built a list of 4,331,656 email subscribers without losing money, and how my clients are putting anywhere from 50 to 500 new leads per day on their list at a profit without any list building experience. Just go to igor.cx to claim your free seat now.